Love topic. Pag love topic, alam mo yun, napaka-exciting. Kasi nga, yun daw yung nagpapakulay yung love. Pag wala kang love, so walang kulay yung mundo mo. So, kailangan matuto kang magmahal. Hindi lang sa opposite sex, kundi unang-una sa Lord, sa family natin, sa friends natin, sa mga kapatiran natin, sa kapwa natin. Because God is love. Kaya pag hindi ka nagmamahal, kawawa ka. Magulo ang mundo mo, malungkot ang mundo mo. So, ngayon pa lang, matuto ka na magmahal. So, siguro simula ngayon, matututo na ako mag-appreciate ng ganon. Matututo na akong mag-identify na, kaya pala siya ganyan kasi ito yung love language niya. Hello! Isang magandang araw muli sa inyo mga kapatid. Narito ako muli upang magbahagi sa inyo ng mga positibong bagay na aking natutunan sa araw na ito. Today is February 26, 2023. Ang title ng pinag-aralan namin kanina is all about discover your love language. Parang title pa lang nakaka-excite na, no? So, nakaka-excite ng topic na to. Discover your love language. Sabi po dito, to be a part of building a love-driven culture, we must understand the basic, plain and simple languages of love. 5 Languages of Love by Gary Chapman. 1. Words of affirmation. 2. Quality time. 3. Acts of service. 4. Receiving gifts. 5. Physical touch. The 5 love languages are 5 different ways of expressing and receiving love. Let's talk about number 1. Words of affirmation. When we say words of affirmation, what is this? A verbal acknowledgement of appreciations of affection, including saying and hearing, I love you. Ganun ka ba? Gusto mo ba laging nakakarinig ng I love you? Yung sinasabihin ka ng I love you? Tapos pag hindi ka nasabihan, magtatampo ka? Diba? Kaway-kaway sa mga nakaka-relate dyan. Compliments, praises, gusto mo yung like ang pinupuri, ang ganda mo naman ngayon, or ang gwapo mo naman ngayon, ang ganda na suit mo, or whatever, like that. Words of appreciation, sarap naman ang niluto mo. Diba? Kahit sa tingin mo is hindi naman ganun talaga kasarap, pero kung makapag-appreciate ka is super. Minsan exaggerated na nga eh. Vocal encouragement. Next is digital communication like texting and other social media engagements. Tulad nito, halimbawa, hindi lang nakapag-chat or gusto mo lagi kang ina-update sa text, sa calls, or sa social media platforms. Gusto mo i-update ka palagi kung saan na ba siya, ano bang ginagawa niya, ganun. And many more. For people who prefers to hear how much they are cared for those who like to be shown how they are appreciated. Ephesians 4:29 and Proverbs 12:25. Number 2. Quality time. Quality time is for people who value time together. For those who want active listening and eye contact. Gusto mo ba nun? Full presence is their priority as a symbol of loving relationship. For those who don't want undivided attention. Pag akin, akin lang. No? Pag ako lang. Walang iba. Ganon. Yung tipong nag-uusap kayo, pero hindi naman kayo nagtitinginan. Yung magkatabi nga kayo, pero cellphone naman yung mga hawak nyo. May kanya-kanya kayong stasyon. So, hindi siya quality time. Dapat, quality yung time na nabibigay natin sa mga mahal natin sa buhay. Doon yung focus. Yan. To those who don't want distraction on communication such as television, computers, phone, other gadgets, or any other outside interference like maraming mga magkakasintahan na naghihiwalay dahil sa mga online games, kanon, diba? Mas priority nila yung mga laro like ML, kanon, COD, and many more. Kahit kasama nila yung minamahal nila, mas binibigyan pa rin nila ng halaga yung mga bagay na nagsasatisfy doon sa kagustuhan nila or doon sa addiction nila. So that's not good. They have a strong desire to actively spend time with someone they love, interested in meaningful conversations, or sharing recreational activities. Ayan po, yung sabihin ng quality time. Kung yan yung gusto mong maranasan, ibig sabihin, quality time, yung love language mo. Number 3, acts of service. Acts of making way to make life easier to other within their relationship. Example, bringing soap when you are sick, making coffee for you in the morning, and etc. 1 John 3:18 and Philippians 2 verses 1 and 4. This love language matters most to those who believe that actions speak louder than words. Right? Yeah. Totoo naman talaga kasi may mga taong hindi sila masalita. Pero dinadaan na lang nila sa gawa. So pagka ganon, dapat di ka manhid. Dapat nagets mo agad yun or nafe-feel mo agad yun. Kung ano yung ibig nilang sabihin doon sa kanilang ginagawa. Bawal ang manhid ka nun. Diba? Hindi yung nag-i-effort na sa'yo, tapos walang sinasabi, ina-expect mo pa rin na may sabihin sa'yo, so hindi mo na-appreciate yung ginagawa kasi ang expectation mo is yung words of affirmation. So, hindi nagtutugma. So, kailangan matuto tayong i-appreciate yung love language ng iba. Huwag nating i-expect kung ano yung love language natin, yun din yung sa kanila. So, magkakaiba po tayo. Number 4, gifts. Feel loved when they received visual symbols of love. As Chapman calls it, the importance lies not in the price tag, but in the symbolic meaning attached to the item. Gifts. Mayroon kasing mga tao na mahilig silang magbigay ng gifts. Kahit hindi mamahalin, pero yung sinisimbolo ng bagay na yun. So, very important yun para sa taong tatanggap. Or kung ikaw naman, yung love language mo na ganun, sobrang appreciated mo na yun. Baga may sentimental value. Yung tipong gustong arborin ng friend mo or ng mga kapatid mo kasi nagagandahan sila pero hindi mo maibigay kasi nga sinasabi mo, oops, bigay ito ni may sentimental value, di ba? Kahit ilang taon na yan, kahit malapit nang masira, tago-tago mo pa rin, or kahit nakailang lipat ka na, nakailang baha na, baha talaga, nandiyan pa rin, dala mo pa rin, tago-tago mo pa rin kasi nga my sentimental value. So, medyo nakaka-relate lang ako. Nakaka-relate po ako dun sa apat na yun. Kasi ganun po ako. Gusto ko yun. Ganun ako magbigay. Meron akong words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, and gifts. Yan. Mahilig akong mag-effort. Mahilig ako magbigay ng gifts. No? Kahit na mahal, bibilihin ko siya. Kasi, mas gusto kong makita siyang masaya. Gusto kong, lalo na kapag na-appreciate yung binibigay ko. Parang, grabe yung saya. Yung saya ko. Lalo na kapag yung binigay ko is pinahalagahan. Grabe. Yung kahit ilang taon na nakikita ko pa rin na iniingatan or ginagamit, ganun. Nafe-feel ko na ako yun. Yung bagay na yun, ibinigay ko, feel ko ako yun. Na hanggang ngayon, iniingatan niya. Hanggang ngayon, pinapahalagahan niya. So, ganun po ako. Pero pag, sabi nga nila, pag nagbigay daw, dapat wala ka nang pakialam doon sa kung anong gagawin niya kasi binigay mo na yun. Pero hindi ko alam, minsan na ako na naapektuhan na kapag yung binigay ko, parang hindi napahalagahan. Tapos binigay din sa iba. Parang nakita ko sa iba. So parang nakakalungkot. Ganun lang ako. Hindi ko alam pagdating sa inyo. So, next tayo. Ito, physical touch. Physical touch. Ito, hindi ako masyado dito. Nahiya ako eh. Hindi ako showy. Physical touch is only limited kasi hindi naman pwedeng lahat ay bigyan natin ng hugs, ng kisses. So, limited lang siya sa mga friends natin, sa family, and sa mag-asawa. And sa mga magkakasintahan, ganun. Pero, syempre, bilang magkakapatid sa Panginoon, hindi natin mabibigay yon sa opposite sex natin. So, lalaki sa lalaki, babae sa babae. And limited lang yun. Sabi po dito, physical touch is the primary way in which they feel loved and they appreciate receiving tangible expressions of affection such as kisses, hand-holding, hugs, and embraces. Ayan, may mga friends kasi ako na ganito. Ma-physical touch sila na kapag nakita kayo, yung talagang kiss, siyempre kiss sa pisngi, and hugs, ganyan. Akbay, ganun. Pero ako, siguro pili lang kasi hindi ko talaga siya hilig. Nahiya ako, siguro minsan ginagawa ko lang yun kasi yun yung ginagawa nila sa akin. So, bilang balik. Pero kung ako mag-initiate, parang nahiya talaga ako. Nagagawa ko lang yan sa pamangkin ko talaga. Ito talaga ako sure nagagawa ko sa pamangkin ko yan. Pero sa mga kapatid ko, sa friends ko, sa mga magulang ko, so, parang pag ginawa ko yun, parang hiya pa ako sa sarili ko. Nahiya ako talaga. So, kinakain ko na lang yung hiya ko, guys. Ganon. Hindi ko alam kung ganon din kayo. And, for instance, during childhood, certain individuals may have only experienced genuine affection and love from their parents when they receive physical displays of affection, such as being held, kissed, or hugged. So, yung mga pinsan ko ganito talaga, na pag nagpapalambing sila, grabe sila mag-show ng physical touch, no? Pero ako, nahiya talaga ako. Sobrang nahiya ako talaga pagdating sa ganitong part. Or siguro kasi lumaki rin kaming ganun na hindi rin physical touch yung mga parents ko. That's why ganun siguro kami. Clarification. The Bible doesn't explicitly mention the languages of love as a concept, but it does provide guidance on love and relationships. First and foremost, the love and relationship we received from God. God's love through Jesus Christ can also be understood through the idea of languages of love. Ito naman yung words of affirmation from God. Kanina yung sa atin mismo, love language natin, and gusto nating ma-receive from others. So, ngayon naman, ito yung from God. So, words of affirmation, nandito yung mga verses. Unang-una sa Isaiah 41 verse 10, Romans 15:7, Isaiah 43 verse 4b, 2 Peter 2 verse 9, Jeremiah 29:11, Matthew 10:31, Psalms 139:14, 2 Corinthians 5:17, Isaiah 54 verse 10, Joshua 1:9, and Psalm 46 verse 1. All of God's promises in the Bible are words of affirmation from Him. Matthew 28 verse 20. Next po natin is quality time from God. Isaiah 41 verse 10. Hebrews 13 verse 5. Jesus stayed 33 and a half years on earth. Luke 3:23. James 4 verse 8a. Acts of service from God, one of the reasons why the Lord Jesus came. Mark 10 verse 45. Romans 5:8. Gifts from God. 1 John 4 verse 9 to 10. John 3:16. Acts 20 verse 35. Physical touch through laying on of hands. Laying on of hands, Jesus' most common practice in healing is touch. In Matthew 9 verse 18, Mark 5 verse 23, 6 verse 5, 7 verse 32, 8 verses 22 to 25, and Luke 13 verse 13. Jesus also lay His hands on the little children who come to Him to bless them. Matthew 19 verses 13 to 15, and Mark 10 verse 16. Jeremiah 17 verse 14, and Psalms 92 verse 10. After Jesus ascended into heaven in the book of Acts, His apostles become the conduits of His healing touch, carrying on His legacy of physical healing. Ananias lays his hands on Paul 3 days after the Damascus Road encounter to restore his sight. Acts 9 verses 12 and 17. And Paul's hands in turn becomes channels of extraordinary miracles. Acts 14 verse 3 and 19 verse 11, including the laying of his hands on a sick man on Malta to heal him. Acts 28 verse 8. Conclusion: God speaks different love languages fluently and clearly, and He longs for us to respond to His expressions of love. Concluding verse, Micah 6 verse 8. Interpretation: Our God is a God who desires for us to seek and pursue Him. Our faith must be accompanied by deeds or actions. We need to take risks and move beyond our comfort zones. While these things are not prerequisites for salvation, they are evidence of the fruit and results of our salvation. God desires for His children to mature in their faith and have a strong sense of responsibility. Hundreds of years after Micah wrote that God's requirements to His people, the Apostle John wrote in 1 John 4 verses 7 to 8. Micah 6 verse 8 deals with our actions. to do justly. God requires that we are to live differently than those around us. Specifically, we should be both moral and ethical in our dealings with others. We should always prioritize what is right. Doing justly is a requirement, not a recommendation or suggestion. Micah 6:8 deals with our affections to love mercy. As followers of Jesus, we are also expected by God to practice mercy. And the emphasis is on taking action rather than just having thoughts. Mercy is defined as not getting what we deserve, while grace is getting what we don't deserve. Micah's instruction means that we are required to give people what they don't always deserve and show them mercy. Micah 6:8 deals with our attitude and to walk humbly with your God. In addition to doing justice and loving mercy, the Lord also commands us to walk humbly with Him, which specifically pertains to our character and attitude. Pride can be a significant obstacle to receiving God's blessings, as it hinders our ability to walk humbly before Him. Pride was the reason of Lucifer's downfall when he said, "I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High." In Isaiah 14 verse 14. On the other hand, Paul's instruction states, "Let nothing be done through selfish ambition or concern, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem others better than himself." Philippians 2 verse 3. Again, Micah is not mere recommendations, but mandated requirements. What does the Lord require of you in Micah 6:8? Number 1, a positive action to take, do justly. Number 2, a powerful affection to awaken, to love mercy. Number 3, a prideful attitude to forsake, to walk humbly with your God. If we do these things, they will serve as our languages of love for God in response to His different expressions of love. By doing these things, we demonstrate our love for God in response to His various expressions of love, using them as our unique languages of love. So, ayun po yung mga natutunan natin for today na gusto ko pong maibahagi sa inyo. So, kung hindi nyo pa po alam yung love language nyo, so, ngayon, sa palagay ko, nagkaroon kayo ng kaalaman. Sa palagay ko, nalaman nyo kung, na-discover nyo kung ano ba yung love language nyo. Ako nga kanina habang nakikinig sa pastor, nahingiti ako kasi karoon pala yun. Kasi sa akin, kung ano yung mayroon akong love language, na-expect ko na yun din yung ibabalik sa akin. So, hindi pala dapat ganun. Kasi may kanya-kanya tayong love languages. Kakaiba tayo. So, para hindi tayo masaktan, don't expect talaga na kung ano yung gusto mo, yun yung mabalik sa'yo. Hindi ganun. Dapat learn how to appreciate yung love language din ng ibang tao. Kasi, minsan, ayaw mo yun na binibigay nila or ayaw mo yun na pinapakita nila sa'yo. Pero, yun yung way nila para ipakita sa'yo na mahal ka nila. So, ngayon, natutuwa lang ako kasi marami pa palang bagay pagdating doon na hindi ko alam. So, siguro simula ngayon, matututo na ako mag-appreciate ng ganon. Matututo na akong mag-identify na, kaya pala siya ganyan kasi ito yung love language niya. Kaya siguro hindi kayong magkaintindihan kasi magkaiba kayo ng expectations sa isa't isa. Halimbawa, yung friend mo gusto mong matanggap is words of affirmation. Ikaw naman is gifts. O di kayo magkatugma. Kaya, parang mayroong tampuhan. Bakit ganun siya? Ganyan. So, kasi nga, limited lang yung kaalaman natin na akala natin kung ano yung love language natin, yun din yung ma-receive natin sa kanila. So, marami pa sana kung gusto sabihin, pero masyado nang mahaba. Kung may natutunan kayo ngayon, gusto ko lang na mag-leave kayo ng comments. Gusto kong i-share ninyo kung ano yung natutunan nyo doon sa 5 language or ano yung na-discover nyo sa sarili nyo na love language na mayroon kayo. So, pwede ba yun na may share ninyo sa akin? And I will appreciate that na may natutunan kayo. Thank you. Sana nag-enjoy kayo. Kahit pa paano sa simpleng sharing na to sa mga natutunan ko for today. So, yun lang po guys. God bless po sa ating lahat.